What's up everyone, WizardKen here with another Xbox 360 World of Tanks video. Today we're going to be looking at the KV-220. This is a tier 5 Russian premium tank that you can buy right now in the store. I've had this tank for a little bit now, I've gotten to test it out, and it's a decent tank. It's not the most amazing premium tank out there, but it's pretty neat for a tier 5 premium. Now, this thing can see up to tier 6, but most of the time when I'm playing, even when I'm playing with another person that has the KV-220, me and Rush Dodge actually took these things out for a while to test them out. You know, we've only been seeing tier 5, so it's not been really bad or getting us into tier 6. And the reason why I don't want to be in the tier 6 too much is because, well, let's look at the packages real quick. You have a 76mm gun, shoots a great rate of 14 rounds a minute, but the only problem is the penetration is only 99, the damage is 110. Now, why do I think that's not that great? Well, this is the reason why. The T1 heavies and stuff like that, a lot of them you're going to bounce in the front, even the lower plate. I've bounced some of the Churchills and stuff like that on the lower plate. It just gets a little aggravating. I've noticed with this tank, a lot of the bigger tanks, other bigger heavies on tier 5, you're not going to really pen unless you get them on the sides and stuff like that, which kind of sucks a little bit. You know, if you are in the KV-1, the KV-1 gets a nice 85mm package at the end that actually does a decent amount of damage and decent amount of penetration, where this one only has a 76mm, which kind of sucks, like I said. This also has a little bit better armor than the KV-1. This has 100mm in the front, on the sides, and 80mm on the rear of the hull. Where, let's take a look at the KV-1, and this thing only has 75, 75, 70. So really, you're getting a little bit more armor on the front and sides with this thing, which is nice. It actually is nice. Now, the turret armor on the KV-1 is only 90, 75, 75, but if you look at the packages, eventually you can get an actual really nice turret, or a replaced turret that does 110, has 110 armor on it, so it's not bad at all. So you'll beat most KV-1s unless they have the last upgrade in that sense. But still, your turret on this thing is 90mm on the front, 75 on the side and rear, which isn't bad at all. As you can see on this tank, it's not very angled, at least in the turret it's not very angled. But as you can see, the mantle that the gun is planted on and stuff like that pretty much covers the entire front area, so it does allow for you to ricochet some shots, but there are some tanks that will be able to penetrate the gun mantle and stuff like that. Even then, with, you know, the gun mantle is one of the strongest parts, the thickest parts on most tanks. That's why if you shoot at, we'll just say an E75 with some of these tank destroyers can actually pen the front of those the turrets, but if you try hitting the gun mantle, it's just gonna not even penetrate, it's gonna bounce off and stuff like that. Also, you can see this tank is pretty long, just like the KV-1. But if you look in the sides of this thing, it's hard to see right here, and I'm gonna have to do it when we're in a battle. But this thing is actually pretty thin, as you can somewhat see. The bottom of the hull only goes about halfway of the tracks, and the rest of it is completely open, so there's a good chance for people to shoot underneath you and completely miss. I've had that happen before. The front part of the hull, as you can see, the upper and lower, pretty angled too. It's kind of like a snowplow, to be honest with you. The upper plate is pretty nice in that sense, but you do have a viewport there that does get shot at a lot. You do have a gunner port on the right of the hull, the upper plate that does get shot, and also there's a viewport right there. There's two viewports on top, but they're not gonna, yeah, I wouldn't worry about them too much. anything else on top's not gonna really get hit. But this is not a bad little tank. It does 33 kilometers per hour. Decent acceleration for a heavy tank at tier 5. View range is 310. Turret rotation is 22 degrees a second. Now, the cool thing about this tank, I don't have the equipment on there yet, and I wish I did. One of the things that they advertise for this tank is that it's a good ramming tank. And I'll tell you this, I wish I could put the large ball liner on there just to help with ramming and stuff like that. But this is funny because me and Rush Dodge were playing on a game. We were going against a T1 heavy. We couldn't do anything to him. Premium rounds, AG rounds, everything was bouncing off of him. Regular rounds, everything was just bouncing off of him. And I said, screw it. I ran down the hill and I just rammed him. I lost maybe a quarter of my life, and he lost from half all the way down to 0. So, I mean, it hit hard. It was pretty funny. Right now, you can see that all I have in this tank is high explosives and armor piercing. I could put some gold rounds of armor piercing on there, but to be honest with you, I'm not going to pay the 2,400 for it. Let me get back in there again. This thing does hold a lot of ammunition. I mean, I have 95 of regular armor piercing, and then high explosive I have 25. So it does hold a lot of ammo in this thing. The accuracy on this thing is 0.45, and which is kind of shitty, and then aiming time is 2.28, which isn't killer but isn't the greatest. To be honest with you, this is a neat little premium tank. Is it really worth the money on there? It's okay. It is one of those rare tanks that you don't see very often. You're not going to see the KV220 very often in the store. Is it as rare as the T3488? No. But it's kind of like the Katraszxa, as you can see here. I know I'm fucking up that name. It's kind of like as rare as those where they hardly ever come out. So let's take this thing out and just mess around with it, talk about it some more. Alrighty guys, we're in Cliff, Standard Battle. As you can see, we're going against tier 5. This is what I mean. The Churchills are going to give me some problems. So, hopefully, yeah, hopefully we can stay away from them for a little while. Let's see. KB220, parents report. It's not going to be a bad battle. Just gotta stay away from the Churchill. So a couple things before we keep continuing talking about the KB220. I'm going to run with this other guy because I think staying in a pack might be a good decision to do. Now, a lot of you guys, well, not a lot of you guys, but some of you guys are complaining that I'm doing the artillery series and the French artillery line. You don't care for it too much. Well, I need to be diverse, guys. I need to be able to go through any tank line, whether that be a heavy tank, tank destroyer, medium, anything, and be able to do it. I know I don't care for RU too much either. Bubba's a lot better at it than I am. Rory's a lot better at it than I am. I do a decent job with artillery, but it's not my funnest tank to play with. I like being in the action sometimes. Sometimes I like being arty just because I want to bomb on somebody because they're being pricks to me, kind of thing. That's one of the main factors that drive me to do arty. But yeah, hopefully I'm gonna stay back a little bit because I think these guys. Yep, there's a light tank over here. Hopefully we can take him on. I don't know. I'll let those guys deal with him. They should be able to get him. Hopefully. Hopefully. Come on, show yourself. The other thing I want to thank you guys about doing is thank you so much for being so supportive about the playing different games on my days off, like Farming Simulator. You know, I know it probably wasn't the best game to choose right at the beginning, but it wasn't the worst game out there. Yay, we took him out. It's a lot of fun, and thank you guys so much for being supportive about that. I was worried about it, but like I said, I gotta be a little diverse when I'm... Eat shit. I gotta be a little bit diverse. You never know what's gonna happen in World of Tanks. They could go bankrupt for some reason. Anything can happen. And yeah. But I'm really enjoying it, and thank you guys so much for being supportive about it. Also, I hope you guys, if you aren't going down it, go check out the new Russian Heavy line, the IS-4 lines. They've got a new set of tanks from tier 6 all the way up to tier 10. Pretty badass. Yeah, I'm gonna keep bouncing. That's a hard tank to hit in the front, especially with this gun. Go check out those lines if you're looking for a new Russian line to go down. I will be doing those next. I'm gonna get through this RD line pretty quick. I almost have the tier 9. I know I haven't done a review on the tier 8. I will be working on that in the next couple of days, doing a video on that and getting that out to you guys as quickly as possible. See how this guy just rammed him? He didn't take any damage. It's because these tanks are fucking badass in that sense. Boop. You're gone. KV-220. Probably not gonna get a good shot on you. No. T-34. Probably a good shot on you. Up. Oh, miss. Alright. M4s are kind of tough too with this thing. I do bounce a little bit with them. But it seems like I got a good angle to be able to hit. But look at the accuracy, it's like all over the place. Come on, T-82. Boop. One more hit like that and he is gone. Ah, somebody else got him. Alright. KV-220, I'm coming for you. See what we can do against this guy. See, sticking with these guys wasn't bad. That wasn't a bad idea. As I said, it's an okay tank. You're not going to get a lot of penetration. You are going to get some bounces. Ramming people seems to do great against people. Yeah, just dinged them. Gonna need more penetration than that. Possibly if I hit him in the turret, but that's hard to do in the front. The other guy got him pretty decently. Ah, they're gonna get him. Alright, 56,000 in silver, 2,000 experience points. Came in third. Not too bad. Those other guys did amazing in their KV-220. So, I did okay. Oh no, I think it's a decent premium tank. It's nice to at least have this tank. Do I think it's better than some of the other premium tanks? No. But I do like that you can ram with this tank. It's pretty nice when you could do that. You saw the other KV-220 do that and against a T-14, which is a heavy tank. And I'm not just saying it's classified as a heavy tank, but it is just a heavy tank in general. T-14 is a big premium tank. But this tank can ram into it pretty easily and not take any damage. Yeah, all in all, I don't think it's a bad tank. It's a nice rare tank to have, and I plan on using it pretty often, especially with these other tanks too. I could get some really good silver with these tanks. I mean, I just made what, 58,000? Not bad at all for trying to build up silver. Remember guys, when you want to build up silver, premium tanks are good to have. Even if you can only buy one premium tank can build up silver pretty quickly. Except for the T-34-88. It does a decent amount of silver, but it's mostly an experience builder. You can make a lot of experience points if you have this tank. Anyways guys, this is the KV-220. if you have the money to spend on it, I would suggest getting it. If not, hold off. There are better premium tanks out there, like the Su-122. That's a good one. That usually comes out here and there on the store. And I would save up for something like that. Anyways, I'm WizardKen. Until next time, see ya.